This is Burke. It's 12 days north of hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery. My village. In a word, sturdy. And it's been here for 7 generations. But every single building is new. We have fishing, hunting, and a charming view of the sunsets. The only problems are the pests. You see, most places have mice or mosquitoes. We have dragons. Hello, everyone, and welcome.
And thank you.
And thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon, because if you're listening to this episode, that means you are supporting us on Patreon.
And we appreciate it so much.
So very much.
Now, I think we need to let them in on a little secret.
Okay.
Because when we said we wanted to do a Patreon, one of the things I cited that it was because we really wanted to buy nice pop filters.
Yep.
And that is true.
Yep.
However, my mom did purchase me as a gift 2 very nice pop filters. So we do have those now.
Yes.
I don't know, listener, if you'll be able to tell the difference. But Lucy and I certainly can in the editing time.
Yep.
I edited 3 episodes the other night. Just back to back to back. So quick, so smooth.
So
no
fast.
plosives.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm excited to edit because I'm like, oh, woo, it won't be stressful.
So we promise to use your Patreon donations for other things that will make the podcast better.
I think we mentioned this last time too, just like one of them just off the top of my head is just a mic for me. So I can do
Luce needs her
at
own
my
mic
place,
at home. Yeah, so we can record. If we ever needed to record remotely, we could do that. Absolutely.
No problem.
I think it would be cool to maybe get cover art for the podcast.
Ooh, cover art would be nice.
Done by an artist and not me on Canva.
Yes, that would be another cool thing to do.
I think I like the kind of art where if you follow any of the other podcasts I do, you'll know this is the kind I like, where the hosts are done in a stylized manner, that in a fun art style that relates to, I definitely think us on the back of a dragon.
That would be excellent, yes.
But today we're not talking about mics or cover art. We're talking about dragons!
Dragons! And my favorite movie of all time.
It's so very good.
It's so good.
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon.
2010.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I remember, I think it was at that time I was frustrated because I'm like, why can't there be, a good movie where, the dragons are good guys? Because I feel like there were so many movies where the dragons were bad guys.
Yeah.
And then this came out and I was like, fuck yes. Finally.
Yep. It's so common because in Western storytelling traditions, dragons are villainous and have always been villainous.
Yep.
You go back to ancient Greek and those creatures that are translated as dragons but are usually actually supposed to be serpents, maybe sea monsters more like.
Yep.
They are always monsters, always beasts sent by sometimes the gods to kill someone or just a monster.
Yeah.
You get into medieval storytelling traditions and dragons have come to be specifically symbolic of the devil from the Bible.
Yes.
So they're always monsters to be slain. We can swing into Norse mythology, and you've got Nidhogg, who's the beast, the dragon, the serpent that gnaws on the roots of the world tree, trying to destroy all things.
Yeah.
They're just long. I think it has become more commonplace to see dragons who are portrayed as allies.
Yeah.
Obviously, we covered Dragonflight last month, and we covered Dragon Riders of Pern, but that's so in the the timeline of English story, dramatic language storytelling canon.
Yeah.
That is so very recent.
I was gonna say very recent. Yeah, within maybe the last century, because I was somewhere in there, about give or take.
The onset of fantasy. But then more, because even then, early fantasy, you still have Smaug.
Yep, Smaug, and then I can't remember in Lord of the Rings, the big bad dragon.
Yeah, there are tons of dragons.
Black, I can't
remember. They're all bad.
Yeah, they're all bad in
because
Lord of the
Norse
Rings.
mythology.
Yes.
So it definitely is so delightful to see dragons be portrayed as. I think the first step is just looking at them as creatures.
Yes.
And creatures are not, creatures are not inherently aligned to some moral compass or are not inherently evil. They behave a certain way because they are creatures who are responding to external stimuli and need and survival.
Yep. And I mean, like, that's like even like touching, so we're not in our actual kind of podcast.
Yeah.
We're like, I guess like spoilers. I don't know if we wanted to like spoilery. I can't remember if we get like background for dragons in where we're at right now. I can't remember. But
the thing we know is the first dragon rider was that elf Aragon who found a dragon egg.
Because there was the big war.
Because there was a war between the elves and the dragons, and
like,
then they eventually were like, "Oh, we could work together through this dragon riders."
Because that was like how they perceived dragons were as creatures, but then they proved more intelligent, way more intelligent.
They would just hunt them like they would hunt a deer, and the dragons
not okay.
are a civilized race.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas in How to Train Your Dragon, I think they are a little more beast-like, a little more animalistic, but they are still highly intelligent, as we see throughout the film. Toothless understands Hiccup completely. So it's just so good.
It's so, I think How to Train Your Dragon really, really successfully captures that thing where you're a kid who likes dragons.
Yep.
Because you'd really, really like to have a dragon as a pet. Yep. And wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yep, absolutely. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I was literally just watching it before we recorded, and my brother came home for his lunch break, and he walked through, and he stopped and was watching with me until he had to leave again, and he was just like, wow, it's just, the animation in this movie is so good. So like, it holds up even stronger than other, like, animation as a whole is a genre that tends to hold up very well, because our eyes and our brains are more forgiving of it not looking realistic, but there are still, like, if you watch the first Toy Story movie, the people are super creepy.
Yeah.
But they're not really the point. But like, and sometimes the movements of the toys are like wild because it's that kind of like the digital storytelling, that technology, it's still a technology. That is, but this movie is 14 years old and it is beautiful in every frame.
And that's the thing, like it's insane when you watch the first one and like even like now, like, because we've come so long and over a decade. With animation, and because you watch it and you're like, it's still so good. It's still so good. And then you watch the second one and it only improved like tenfold. But we're not talking about the second one.
We're not talking about night. No.
Nope.
But it is. I was reading how they really wanted to get the flight scenes down and the fire.
Yep.
Like they knew those were like
the big ones.
Yeah, when they pivoted it to make it more of like an action adventure story. They wanted to like, well, we have like the 3D animation style. We need to make sure that the flight looks great and that the fire is great because there's fire. There's dragons in this film, so there is fire. We want the fire to look good.
Yep.
And I think it demonstrates their desire to create a really quality animated movie by like how they were like focusing on like obviously all of it, but like wanting these two elements, recognizing the importance of them in a dragon story.
Absolutely.
Said a lot about the creative process.
Yep, I agree. And like there are scenes where Hiccup is flying, like specifically in mine Astrid, when Astrid takes a fly on Toothless for the first time.
That's such
and
a
there
fun
is a scene. Yeah, where they're flying kind of towards the sunset. And Toothless' wings are full of air, and you can see that they are full of air as he's kind of just hovering. And it's just so, so, so good.
It is. Did you ever read the books that this movie was inspired by?
I have not.
I haven't. I'm surprised you haven't.
It feels like a Lucy. I think it is on my wish list in Audible. I just haven't had a chance yet.
Obviously, we have to acknowledge that they are, it says, based on the book How to Train Your Dragon by Cressida Cowell. And it definitely feels like maybe loosely inspired by the books by Cressida Cowell is a more accurate way.
Yeah.
Because I was curious. And so I went and I read the plot synopsis for the first book.
Yeah.
And the second one.
Yeah.
And the third one. And I think I got through the fifth one before I realized I actually need to be using my time more valuable. Like I need to be just, but they're so different.
Ooh.
Like it's such a different approach to the concept of dragons. It is like the only things that they really kept are Viking village, the name Hiccup, and a dragon being named Toothless.
Ooh.
But in the it's also a way more like kids whimsical storytelling. Not a knock on Cowell's work in any way. Like it is a very different genre of like the story of what she was going for versus what the movie became. Yeah. And it's more, do you mind if I talk about the first one? No, go right ahead. The premise is like the Viking boys, when they come of age, they have to train a dragon. Like that is their challenge. And so in this one, Hiccup gets Toothless, who's like Hiccup the horrendous something the third.
Yeah.
And so he gets Toothless, who's just this like garden variety little dragon.
Yeah.
Just like an everyday little dragon. He's not special. He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
And they have to train him, but on the day of the exam, it goes bad and all the dragons fight.
Ooh.
So all the boys are like, you're gonna be exiled.
Ooh.
What? But they're allowed to stay one night because there's a bad storm.
Okay.
But during the bad storm, 2 sea serpent dragons get washed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hiccup is sent to negotiate with one of the dragons.
Oh, cool.
Who is called the Green Death. And he's like, I'm going to eat all the Vikings. So they're able to get this dragon to fight the other dragon, who is the Purple Death.
Okay.
And the one who beats the other.
Okay.
And I think they just drive the remaining dragon back or they kill it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But it is like a very different approach.
Yeah, that's.
But then they're like, the boys get to stay, and hooray, Hiccup, you figured it out. Also, the idea of like how to train your dragon, there's a manual for it, but it's only 1 page, so it's not very helpful.
That's great.
Which is great children's book humor. I do love it. But so originally, DreamWorks, the producer, I'm gonna pull up her name, Bonnie Arnold, who was the producer of not Over the Garden Wall. Gosh, that's so different. Over the Hedge, which had come out in 2006. And actually, DreamWorks had been paying attention to How to Train Your Dragon since 2004.
Ooh.
In the first one, like, they had acquired the rights to turn it into a movie for a while.
Ooh, yeah.
And so Arnold was, like, asked, what do you want to do next?
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to adapt these books.
Oh.
And so she got in on that, and they ended up pulling in other writers and storytellers to help. Like, making a movie is a process that so many people have their hands on, and it often changes hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the earliest, like, draft of the movie was very similar to the book.
Ooh.
Like, it was basically a very, very faithful adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
And then they ended up bringing on Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlofus, who were actually writers and directors of Lilo and Stitch. And they took over as co-directors of the film. And they found that the original, like, plot was, like, DeBlofus described it as, DeBlos, I think, was too sweet and whimsical, and it geared to a much younger demographic than what they wanted the movie to be. Yeah. And so that's when they shifted gears to kind of like, okay, well, here are Vikings, here are dragons. What's a more interesting? And I think I know the book is always better than the movie. And again, I haven't read Cowell's work, so I can't say for sure, but I'm gonna be honest. Definitely sounds like this is one of the rare ones where it's like, nah, that movie. But it's also so different, you could almost argue like it's not the same thing at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be a very much Howl's Moving Castle situation where it's I've read both. I've read the Howl's Moving Castle and I've watched Howl's Moving Castle, and I love both. Yeah. They're so different. They're so different. It's literally like experiencing the characters in 2 different story plots. Yeah. It is very good. So it could be that where both of them are very good. They're just very different.
And I was curious. I wonder what Cowell thinks of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't apparent very quickly, and I didn't want to go digging
deep dive
a little bit. I was like,
fair enough, honestly.
Not necessary for what we're doing. But that's when they adapted Toothless, where they're like, we want Hiccup to be able to fly on him. Yes. Like, because in the books, Hiccup actually apparently has another dragon that he flies on called Windwalker.
Oh, okay.
What?
Windwalker?
Yeah.
That's... I think we're not talking about the second movie. I think that's the second movie, his mom's dragon.
That would make sense, because as I was reading through the plots of later books, I was like, I recognize that name. Like, the Fish Legs is a character in there.
Fish Legs, yeah.
And eventually there is a girl character. Now, her name is Kamikaze.
Oh.
Yeah. The book came out in 2003, so. Yeah. But suddenly there's like, because they're like, there don't seem to be any girl characters in these early books. And okay, now we have a reoccurring girl character who seems like she's tough and adventurous. And other dragons, Alvin the Terrible. Ooh, and things like that. So it's like, I think they do pull, but yeah. So they're like, well, we need Toothless to be bigger, so it's the dragon. We want to be able to fly on the dragon, so they made him big enough for Hiccup and Astrid to be able to fly on. And that ended up being like, well, obviously he's got to be a different kind of dragon now if he's strong enough and fast enough for this. And that's when they added, we want him to have big eyes and expressive ears. Yeah. So he will be able to emote well as a character.
And he can emote well.
And he can emote
very, very, very
so well.
Yep.
And so that's a lot of what led to the story we got, because they're like, well, we need the dragon to do this, so let's build a story around the dragon that does this.
Yes, absolutely. And then I was wrong. It's Cloud Jumper, I believe is.
Cloud Jumper.
Cloud
yeah,
Jumper
Cloud Jumper.
That's what the name is, not
Windwalker is very good.
Windwalker is very good. I'm sad that they didn't incorporate that in some way. I'm shocked
we don't have Windwalker in something else. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Too close to Skywalker, maybe?
Maybe.
But
yes.
So we are definitely approaching this as assuming you, the listener, have watched this movie.
Yes, 100%.
I get we could give you a synopsis, but like, I won't.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That won't. So how do we want to? I feel like reading, going over Dragonflight was different because it was such a new thing that you and I had never engaged with, that it was really a discussion of breaking down. How do we best want to tackle this episode, or this discussing How to Train Your Dragon for this episode of our show?
I think going through it very similar to how we've been approaching Aragon, more or less, the book, just like kind of going through it beginning to end, just talking about beats that we like, or doing things like that. That's kind of what I'm visualizing. At least that'll stick with the notes that I took.
Lucy has 5 pages of notes.
I didn't realize I was taking so many notes. I was just enjoying the movie and then writing down stuff that I like, and then I was having a really good time just taking notes and watching the movie, and then just 5 pages later.
I'm gonna have you, because I didn't take any notes because I'm like, I just watched it. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna talk about what I liked about the movie.
Yeah, of course.
To be fair, I was also simultaneously researching Ragnarok because we're covering on a Muses today, and I kind of gotta have that research done.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Nope. So I want to start off just kind of like right off the top that at the beginning of this episode, I read the intro to the movie. Best intro.
It's very strong.
Likewise, best ending too.
Yeah, the fact
it's
that
along
it
the same lines. It's so good. But right off the bat, I do like how they have the pests as dragons. They talk about pests as dragons, and I don't know, I love that aspect of it.
What did they say? Other places have mosquitoes
and mice, but we have dragons.
So it immediately demonstrates that they view dragons on the same level as a mosquito or a mouse.
Yes, but highly more dangerous.
They're more dangerous, but like in terms of how you would deal with something like that, you kill it.
Yep, absolutely. And then I also what I like is almost immediately we get 5 different types of dragons.
Yeah.
We get the Natterhead, which is the one that has really bulbous head, 2 wings, kind of spiky tail. We find out. Then the Gronkel, kind of bigger, teenier wings.
He's a wound boy.
Yep. And then the Zippleback, that's the 2-headed dragon. That one of them does the gas ignite, and then the other one ignites.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Like the other one breathes gas, and the other one sparks.
Yeah, and I love that concept because it's with one dragon head, the one dragon head doesn't need that; it does both anyway. But the 2 split do the different ones,
which is
and I
love a 2-headed dragon.
Yep, and then I love this name, the Monstrous Nightmare, and that is the one that likes to set itself on fire.
It has a nasty habit of lighting itself on fire.
And then we have the Night Fury, which is out of all of the dragons, because later we get Hiccup sits down to read the book that they have that has, I'm pretty sure mimics the manual.
Yeah, they just call it a dragon manual.
Yep, and it has all of the dragons that they know, and the Night Fury stands out because no one really knows what it's like.
No one has survived interacting with it. They have no information.
Yep, because it never misses. It shows itself.
It flies so fast that they can hear it, which would imply he's breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can hear something like that. But I don't think Toothless is breaking the sound barrier.
No. I also think that it's the way that Toothless fires is that whatever the gas builds, that's what makes that noise.
Yeah, it's like a roaring.
Yep. Yeah. Roaring noise.
It's very cool.
Yes, but what I like about this is right off the bat, even Hiccup's whole introduction with this, because I'm as writers, we gotta talk about the character build and stuff like that. So what I really like is Hiccup too, even before this, he's oh, dragons, and he's running around like everybody else, but then people are going, what are you doing outside? Get inside, go outside. And then the chief, we assume the chief picks him up, and then it's that's the chief.
Yeah.
Picks him, he's what is he doing outside? Get inside, Stoic the Vast. And so he goes inside, and then he talks to, I don't remember his name, which is Gobber.
Yeah.
And he talks to his mentor, I would say, and he's I need to go outside. And he goes, no, you need to stay inside. You can't do anything. You can't throw an axe. You can't do this. You can't even throw one of these.
Yeah. And then Hiccup tries, no, I can't. See, I built a device. And that doesn't have good aiming. He's it's just a little calibration.
Yep.
And we don't get an exhaustive list of all the ways that things have gone wrong when Hiccup has been around. But it is implied that no, every time there's a reason everyone is like, why are you out here, with a sense of like annoyance and fear. And it's not like a concern of like, why is this child out here? Yeah. It's like, no, you need to not be out here, because when you are, things get so much worse. And they don't list off like, here's an exhaustive like comedic list of like flashbacks of everything that went wrong. Yep. It's more, because we don't need that. We just are implied that things go wrong when Hiccup tries. Yes. And we will quickly see that in about 4 minutes.
I was going to say, because like mimicking that just like goes on well, is like he gets chased by a dragon. And it's almost not even Hiccup's fault. I mean, he was outside, which he shouldn't be.
And the dragon went after him because he hit the Night Fury.
Yeah. Yep. And it crashes, and then the fire pillar crashes down.
And just tumbles
down, breaking through. And I love that line too. He's like, and there's one more thing that you should know. And then he goes, sorry, Dad. And we find out that he's the son of the chief. And it's like, for me, it's like, that puts Hiccup in such good perspective, because it shows that he's like, I need to be with somebody. And he even tells his dad, he's like, I don't know, Dad, it's just who I am. When I see a dragon, I just gotta kill it. Stoic says, like, you are many things, Hiccup, but a dragon killer you are not. And I think not one of the issues, but like one of the pressures that Hiccup has is he's the son of the chief, and he knows he's different, and he's trying to fit in so much, and he can't.
Yeah. We see the other, like, his peers. Yeah. Who are how old is Hiccup? Like 13? 15?
They're early teens. Like absolutely.
Maybe 14 or so. Yeah. So we get to see his peers. And like Hiccup's like a scrawny dude. Yes. But when we see his peers, it's like, yeah, there are like 3 other boys in the group. And like one of them's like, oh, he's a tough dude. Another one's like this big guy. Yeah. But the other guy is also skinny and gangly too. Yes. So it's not that Hiccup just is inherently not as athletic or strong as his peers. It is like genuinely, he's just, in this society, it comes off as like, you're kind of a fuck up, man. Yeah. Like, you try really hard, but like it just doesn't work out, and it causes everyone more trouble. Yep. And I like the introduction of the kids, of the rest of the thing. He was like, oh, there's this one and this one, and Astrid,
and it's the explosion, and she's walking away.
Cool. And then all the other ones gather up, and it's like, they're so... Yep. It's like, yeah, he obviously has a crush on Astrid, but he's like, oh, they're all so cool.
Their job is so much cooler than mine.
Yeah. Because his job is making weapons.
Is mending them.
Mending them, right. Yep. Gobber makes them. He's a blacksmith.
Yep. And I really like, because we get a lot of lore, too, throughout the movie. They don't what I like is that we don't get just a lore dump. Yeah. We get, like, kind of sprinkles here and there. And what I like is that the blacksmith has to open during the raid, because as they're fighting, their weapons are break, and it's almost like, because what happens is when it opens the first time, these guys show up with broken, bent weapons, and they put them down. I'm like, okay, come on, hurry up, and Gobber has to give them new weapons, and Hiccup has to heat them up so he can repair them so they can go back out.
They gotta they go through so many.
Yeah, so I really, really like that concept of like, just like, oh, we gotta go, like, we're making weapons, we're mending weapons, we gotta go. But the contrast that I really like is that the Night Fury is unique. Yeah. And we also get Hiccup who is unique. Because they both, like, whereas the Night Fury is almost alone. We're not really going to talk about the 2 other movies, but off the bat, Toothless is alone, unique. We don't see any other dragon like him. We don't
we see multiples of all the dragons in this scene. There were several.
Exactly. And we don't do that. And like Hiccup, of everyone in the village, is unique, that he's trying to fit in so much. And we even see that when Gobber takes him home, and he's like, you need to just stop being all this. And he's like, you just gestured at all of me. Yeah. And he goes, well, yeah, that's right. Stop being you. And he's like, all right, whatever. And then he's like, and then Gobber says, what I'm trying to say is just stop being something you're not. And Hiccup says, I just want to be one of you guys. And it's like, yeah. And it's that really hits. It really hits.
Yeah. He wants, and when he's like, oh, I see a dragon, I gotta attack it. And it doesn't sound real. Yeah. When he's saying it doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound like he means it.
Yeah, right. It sounds like he's trying to mean it. It sounds like he's trying too hard. It sounds like the way the voice acting is, like, it's so well done. Yes. And the animation, like, he knows this is what a Viking is supposed to be. So he is, like, desperately trying to imitate it and, like, mimic. It's very like hetero, like, comp het, like heteronormativity, when you're like someone who's like, I inherently don't feel like everyone else around me.
Yeah.
And whenever I act on the things that I feel good about, like the things that the way I want to be, everyone's like, that's weird, that's wrong.
That's weird.
So I need to imitate what everyone else is doing because this is how it's supposed to be. And I want to be accepted by my group and my peers. And so it's like Hiccup is very much like, you could read it as this allegory of you're inherently not like the norm.
Yeah.
But you so desperately want to be part of your group, and you have also simultaneously not seen a single example of anything other than that. There is, you can't even comprehend that there is anything other than this because you have never seen it.
Yep.
And so Hiccup, when he's like, I just gotta kill it, and you're just like, that sounds so fake, but I think really think you mean it.
Yeah.
Because you want to mean it, because you can't comprehend not, because that's how everyone else is.
Yes.
So aren't you supposed to be this, and you're gonna fake it until it's true, but it never will be.
Yep, absolutely. I absolutely agree. That's exactly, it just gives that vibe of like, Hiccup is the black sheep of the entire village.
Yeah.
Jumping again, I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth probably.
Totally.
I just like looked down and read right off the bat we get something with dragons too, that dragons have a limit because
when they run out of blast.
Yeah, when they run out of blast because the monstrous nightmare is after Hiccup and is firing at him, and then when he faces off with Stoic, he tries and Stoic says you're all out. So right there again, they don't tell us that dragons have limits yet, but we know, you're out of
we
fuel.
can learn that. And then when they do dragon training later, that's when it most makes sense to clarify it, because that's when the kids need to know
That's
it.
when the kids need to know, absolutely.
But and they've already demonstrated it at the top, just mostly so Stoic can fist fight a dragon.
Yep, it's so like badass.
Great.
He just like punches a dragon, and like holy cow.
The dragons are after the sheep.
Food.
They're trying to steal away the...
Because they do escape, we see them escape with sheep, with the flock, and then they also escape with fish too. We see the gronkles taking fish and flying off with it, and that's I think that goes into more being a pest too, because they're taking their food.
Yeah, that's what like pests do. Like mosquitoes can make you sick, but like mice specifically, what makes them dangerous is they get into the food supply and then they destroy it.
Absolutely.
And that is so that is like the biggest dragons are dangerous because they're big and they're aggressive and they have sharp teeth and they breathe fire.
Or set themselves on
fire. And you never see a dragon actually die in the movie.
No.
Even the dragons they've got pinned down,
they
all escape.
We don't see the humans kill a dragon.
We don't see the humans kill a dragon.
We do see two getting eaten.
Yes. but that's also very important, I think, to demonstrate the difference between, because that was something, pin in that.
Yeah, we'll pin in that until we'll get to it.
Not like, oh, spoiler, like y'all, it's fine.
Yeah.
But pin in that, because I was thinking about that actively.
Yeah.
The interesting,
absolutely,
how to communicate that to the audience. But yeah, it is a problem, and like we got to go find the nest.
Yep. That was what I was going to say. We jump into, we have the nest and we find out, so there's a nest now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably that's where they probably take all of our food, is to this nest.
Yep.
That's where all the dragons are at. If we can find the home of the dragons, we can probably set it on fire. We can not have these problems. I love that the village is 7 generations old, but every building is new. And you can just, and it says so much. It's like, why would every building be new? And eventually you find out because they fight dragons. Yeah. And dragons destroy the whole village. Yep. They're constantly having to rebuild all the time. It is exhaustive on their supplies. It is prohibitive on any of their economics because they're unable to like expand or build. Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you're constantly having to rebuild your house, you're not being able to hit your like higher or like state of
not
being.
Not gonna have enough time to go hunting,
fishing,
and
especially with their like, also it's like we have to rebuild our house for winter. Also, there's no food. We just ran out of food, so how do we have time to rebuild and get enough food for winter?
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a huge threat to their life, to like the lives of everyone in the village.
Yep, I agree. And then between that and then Hiccup finding Toothless, we have a really good scene I love this scene, between Stoic and Gobber. I want to say Goober, but that's not right. It's Gobber.
1-0.
what I like about it is they're talking about Hiccup, and what I like is Stoic. And like this shows like Hiccup is comparing himself to his father, and he's like, by the time I was 4, like I knew what I was to become, what I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hiccup is not that boy.
Yeah.
And like Hiccup is comparing himself to his father, who could do all these things.
Broke a rocket head with this.
Yeah. Split a rock open with just his head. He's like, I did it, and his dad
I knew what a Viking was capable of.
Yes, and Hiccup is not that boy. He's not that person. But Stoic is putting that pressure on him because that is who he thinks that Viking should be.
Yeah,
that's the strong, the blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I have this note here in my notes if I watch this movie too much, because there's where he's like, Hiccup, he's talking about how Hiccup used to hunt for trolls, and Garber goes, trolls exist! They only take your socks, but why the left one? And I like mouth that like perfectly. I can't do it right now, but I was like, throughout the whole movie, I just kept listening. Which I love so much.
Yeah, do you want to tell our listeners about your tattoo, Lucy? I don't know if you mentioned it before.
I have a How to Train Your Dragon Toothless tattoo. I have Toothless, and my girlfriend has the Light Fury on her forearm.
They're very
good. It's very good. We can upload pictures.
Yeah.
If we can. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But so then we go into Hiccup finding Toothless.
Yeah, because we saw at the top he's built the device that was supposed to aim and fire a spear, and it was
it's not a spear. It's like one of those like
the ball, the
things.
things.
Yeah, that's it. There's a name.
Ball.
I think you're on the right.
B.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. I don't remember what.
Not
it
a bolo tie.
It's not a ballistic.
Not a ballistic.
Yeah,
but. He fires one of those. He knows he hit the Light Fury. No one believes him, so he's gonna go and find it. And he does. He finds this dragon completely like tangled up and not moving. And I'm pretty sure at first Hiccup's like, "Oh my god, I killed it."
Yeah, he is. And I actually have a note for that because I also have what's so cool about us seeing the Night Fury too is it is the first time that Hiccup is seeing it, and possibly anyone that has seen the Night Fury. I almost said Light Fury.
Yeah.
So what I love about that is that the movie does such a good job about building suspense. No one's seen it. No one does anything, and then it's over the edge, and there it is. There's Toothless. And like I think so too. It also like the reason why because we see right before Hiccup captures it that Toothless is blotting out the stars. We just see this blackness going on, and then we see Toothless for the first time, and we're like, yep. Completely black. Yep. Blends in with the night. And as far as we know, only attacks during night. So it makes sense. No one's seen it. No one's interacted with it. What you were mentioning, how Hiccup is first sees it and he thinks that he's dead.
He also says that this is gonna fix everything. Like because you gotta if I kill a dragon, that'll at least get me like a girlfriend. Yeah. Or maybe if I'm out there, like maybe I'll even get a date. Like it is so much a symbol of acceptance in his entire culture.
Yeah.
And just killing a Night Fury, that'll make up for every time he's ever messed up. Every problem, the entire destruction, like his dad will forgive him, like everyone will accept him, like his entire life will be fixed now because he now truly has proven he fits in with everyone else.
Yep. But I like because just building off of that is I like that. But then he comes to the aspect of, oh, I have to actually kill it, and everything changes.
Yeah, because it's still, when he sees it's still alive, he's like, I'm going to cut out your heart, and I'm going to take it to my father. And it still just sounds like him saying the things that he thinks a Viking is supposed to say.
Or he's heard.
Yeah.
Or even seen, like, maybe one of the kids have done it.
Yeah, so someone like an older, just the act of imitating what is normal.
Yep.
And he just can't do it.
He can't do it.
He sees the dragon it's glaring at him, and then the dragon understands what is going to happen and just closes its eye.
Very just like accepts it.
Yeah. And Hiccup's just like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
He just can't, and he cuts the dragon loose.
Yep. And that's, I think, for the first time too. I think in that moment too, we get a sense of how smart Toothless is, because Toothless immediately realizes what's happening. He's like, oh, he's cutting me free.
Yeah.
Like
they're very intelligent creatures.
Yes, absolutely.
And he attacks Toothless, or he attacks Hiccup.
Yep.
Yeah.
He jumps up and pins him with his claws, and then and I love that because we get that close up of Toothless' eye, and it's so cool.
So intense. It's the entire screen. I just like flashback to remembering like seeing that on the big screen. I'm like, that's so intense.
It's so intense, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like is he just like screams at him and then runs away.
Yeah, just roars like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm out.
Yep.
You didn't kill me, but I don't ever want to see your face. It's like, I know your face. I recognize you. I don't ever want to see you again.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's so important. It's not just it was funny that the dragon, like, oh, it was scary and then you ran away. Because smash cut to the first dragon lesson.
Yeah.
That doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Because Toothless because Hiccup's not great at this.
Yes.
And he gets pinned again by the dragon.
Yep.
And it does the exact same motion, only this time the audience can see the fire building in the back of the throat. And Gobber has to come down and he grabs... He's got like a hook for a hand and he's got like a prosthetic peg leg, and he like grabs the dragon's mouth and like yanks it away, and the fire does come out, but it barely misses Hiccup. Yep. And he's like, okay, this is the important lesson. A dragon will always go for the kill. And Hiccup, but why didn't you?
So why didn't you? Yep.
And that's an X of those scenes are back to back. They're immediately like, no, you need to understand what's happening here. And it's like, why didn't if dragons always go for the kill, why didn't this one? Yep. It's like, maybe because that one wasn't being threatened.
Yep. And
maybe it's like Hiccup's, and that's Hiccup starting to like, I have to like, why didn't he? I have to answer that question. Well, maybe because this dragon was being attacked by a bunch of Vikings and felt threatened and was in danger, whereas Hiccup I had just saved and like are freed. And so like that inkling of even Hiccup, as we the audience are also learning this, Hiccup being like, there's something wrong here.
Yep.
Like we flips through and sees all the information about the dragons, and it's like, oh, extremely dangerous, kill on sight. Extremely they'll always kill you, always kill you. And then no information on a Night Fury, but there's, if you've ever seen one, just pray to your god. Yeah, what is it?
I have it. I actually paused and wrote it down. Let me see if I can find it. The unholy offspring of lightning and death itself. Never engage this dragon. Your only chance, hide and pray it does not find you.
Yeah. There's like literally there's no thing. There's not even an illustration.
Yep.
No one has ever survived an encounter with a Night Fury.
But Hiccup
did. And then we get him going back out and trying to, because the dragon is in this like valley.
Yeah, it's like in this like little
valley. It's not a valley.
It's not a valley.
It's a very, very small valley.
It's a small, like, I literally had 2 words for it, and now they're just gone.
Yeah, there's a better word, like this enclave, like, part of the ground you would go into, like a veil.
Like I want to say like a dip, like a...
But like,
there's
so
a word.
Deep. Yeah, there's a specific geological word that would describe it better.
Yeah, but
like,
I can't think of it.
When Hiccup goes back, he sees the dragon trying to get out, and he like draws a sketch of him, and he's like, why don't you just fly away?
Yep. And then he sees that his tail is missing.
It's like he first draws like a symmetrical tail pattern with 2 fins, and he realizes he doesn't have it, so he wipes it away. He's like, oh, he's only got the 1 fin.
Yep.
And it's so great when later on Hiccup realizes, oh no, he is supposed to have 2, and he's injured because of me.
Yep, because that's why he can't fly. It's during the dinner between Gobber and the kids. This is after a couple of training sessions, and he's seen the dragon a lot, spending time with the dragon. Mm-hmm. And Gobber says, it's the wings and tails you really want. If it can't fly, it can't get away. A downed dragon is a dead dragon. Mm-hmm. And Hiccup realizes, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, he can't get out because Hiccup can't hunt. I love the first time Hiccup and Toothless interact again is when Hiccup brings him a fish.
A fish.
And you instantly have like, it's a cat.
Yep.
Like the dragons are cats.
Dragons are cats.
Dragons are cats.
Absolutely. And what I like is that Toothless reacts defensively to the weapon because he's like curious coming up to Hiccup and then realizes he has the knife and he's super defensive. And then when Hiccup throws the knife away, he instantly goes back to being like, we're chill.
Yeah.
Still wary, but like chill.
But like takes the fish and then gives Hiccup half of it back, which is also like cats like to murder things. Yes. They're little monsters. They have entire indigenous bird populations have gone extinct because of cats.
Yep.
But they do this because cats, we view cats as being so solitary because we look at them and base them off of like, oh, that's what wild cats in like Northern Europe do.
Yeah.
But that's not what domestic house cats are descended from.
Yeah.
They're descended from a different line of cats
Yep.
that actually operate in groups.
Yeah.
And so cats view their humans as part of that group.
Yep.
And when cats operate in like their little clouders, their little groups, they'll bring back more prey than they need
Yep.
for like pregnant and like feeding like females.
Yep.
And there's more food. So cats share their food
Yeah.
all the time. That's why cat brings you prey.
Yeah.
Because it's doing its job to support the clan and you are part of the clan. So
Yeah.
it needs to bring you food.
Yep.
It doesn't think you can't hunt. It's making sure there's enough food in case you didn't get a chance to hunt. I got you.
Yep.
Because you always got me.
Yep.
So Hiccup or Toothless giving Hiccup half the fish back and Hiccup having to eat it.
I love that whole scene where he's just staring at him and they're staring at each other, and then he like looks down at the fish, looks back at him, and Hiccup's like, oh no, and he takes a bite, and he goes, or like does the swallow, like yep, and we're gonna eat.
I've never seen you eat. You need to eat now because I'm so hungry. You must be hungry too. Yeah, I keep seeing you here.
Yeah,
and
it's so good.
I got such My Neighbor Totoro vibes.
Oh,
from
it really
Toothless
is.
This time. I never had before, but when he like sits back on his haunches and he kind of like moves on his back
around.
leg, it's very, very Totoro.
I agree. What I love about this too is that Toothless's smile is wonderful. He mimics the smile.
He's trying to mimic like, okay.
Yep. And we get like more lore like with the Night Fury is that he sleeps like a bat. He sleeps with his tail upside down, which I think is super cool. And he also like Toothless, we're getting this sense of Hiccup, who has never quite been accepted by the people of who he's grown up around, feels more comfortable with a dragon than he ever did at home because he's suddenly spending so much time.
Like when he watches, he's always smiling when he's watching.
He's
Toothless.
always he's like always nervous because
is like, don't touch me. Even when Toothless is like, don't touch me, go away. Yeah, he's still like smiling and very like. Yeah,
he's
happy.
Himself.
Yeah, he's himself.
Like, and that's I think was a big thing. Like he is himself around Toothless. He's like drawing in the dirt and like
Toothless draws with him.
Yeah, and he draws with him, and I like that point because he tries to reach for Toothless again, and Toothless is like, no, don't touch me. And Hiccup decides to trust the dragon. He decides to trust Toothless and lets Toothless come to him.
It's not even that. He like puts out his hand, not touching him, puts out his hand, and then looks away and literally demonstrates to Toothless, like, Toothless could attack him right there.
Oh, absolutely.
And he would not have time to react at all. It demonstrates this, like, ultimate trust.
Yep.
And it's that scene, that, like, shot that's so good. The visual of Toothless putting his, tip of his nose against... You see him hesitate, just he goes forward a little bit and then fully goes forward. Yeah, I think it's also like this great, like, it also does, like, if I do this, it is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Like, do I trust this Viking enough? Like, because he could also, what does it mean if I trust him? He could turn on me.
Yep.
But it demonstrates, like, Hiccup already trusts Toothless.
Yep. I agree. It's so good.
And he's like, wants to, like, okay, well, he needs the other wing to fly. I love the trial of trying to figure out how to build the prosthetic wing fin for Toothless.
And I love that whole like series of clips because it really shows like how their relationship is growing. Because when Hiccup first puts the thing on, Toothless realizes Hiccup is on his tail and like flicks him off, and then he crashes because Hiccup was the one that was controlling the fin opening. Yeah. And then later on, when he's actually on, you see, I love this shot because it's like I was looking for these little details after this is like my 6th, 7th watch of this movie. And Hiccup is sitting on, he made the saddle. Yeah. And he's sitting and he has the string in his hand and he pulls it. And right before he pulls it and they go crashing down, you see Toothless's face and he's so resigned. He's so like, ugh, fine. But then by the time we get to the part where they kind of crash and the belt, the little metal strap that keeps Hiccup on bends and like traps him to the saddle, we see like by that time they are completely comfortable with one another. Yeah,
it's like very totally serious, like, okay, let's test this.
Yes, they're definitely like, they're friends. They're absolutely friends at this point.
Yeah, and I love how, and the whole time Hiccup is built is like creating like, okay, cheat sheet, here's each, like, it's specific angle, how wide the fins are flailed, like everything on that is what lets Toothless move the way he wants to. And so Hiccup needs to learn what that is. And so he's built a whole cheat sheet. And I love that last sequence in this like learning to fly montage where they're out and they're like, okay, real test. And they're flying through the air above like cliff sides and stone pillars in the ocean. And then Hiccup loses the map or the cheat sheet and he falls off and they're falling and they're both falling and he just barely manages to grab back onto Toothless. And get on, and then he just has to go. Like, he's to save both of them. He just, I love it so much as just a storytelling progression of, like, you don't need this. You learned it. He has learned it. Yes. You know he's
overthinking it.
Yeah, you don't have to overthink it. You've learned it. You're smart, and you can feel it. You're literally on the dragon, and Toothless is responding to you. So and it's so
good. And it's like, I think what's really cool about that is like when they're flying through like super fast through because he's trying to look at the cheat sheet and all these rocks are, and he just throws it.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do it. Let's just,
He knows what Toothless needs to do in order for both of them to stay afloat. Because there's moments where they have to go fast and the tail can't be full of air, but then there's moments where Toothless has to slow down and fill his wings with air, and that would require his tail to be different, and he knows that. And so it's just so freaking cool. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
It's good, and it just makes me so... I'm very hormonal this week, so my emotions are at 99 all the time. So I'm just full of tears. Everything's so beautiful. We love each other. Meanwhile, I love how simultaneously all the time that Hiccup has been spending with Toothless, just hanging out with him, like playing with him. Like when he brings him the fish, he learns, okay, they don't like eels.
They don't like smoked eels.
They don't like smoked eels. He loves being scratched and has this like spot right under his chin where he'll just like, he's go like, boneless.
Yes. Just go, yes.
They'll react to light. They'll play with like the light reflecting cats. They're not fireproof on the inside. Yes. I love that scene with the
two little
little dragons.
Yep. And it just like real quick interjection with that is with that whole scene with they're called the Terrible Terrors. What I love about that is they come over because they just have a pile of fish. And they're trying to eat the fish. And what ends up happening is Hiccup feeds one and just sits down. And again, the dragon comes to Toothless. Toothless doesn't. Not Toothless. I keep mixing up their names.
Their names, something about them.
Yeah, I don't know what. But Hiccup doesn't like go to pet one or like pick one up. He just feeds one and then sits back, and the dragon comes to him and nestles up. And
you're
goes
cool.
Asleep.
Because the dragons are incredibly social creatures.
Yes.
Like we always see the fact that they operate within groups.
Yes.
Like demonstrates that they are social creatures. Yes. They are pack creatures. They make bonds with like the Terrible Terrors are like a group of 3 of them.
Yeah.
But also when the dragons attack the village, like they're all
in a group.
The Terrible Nightmare?
The Monstrous Nightmare.
The Monstrous Nightmare attacks Hiccup after he has shot the Night Fury.
Yes.
And the mother's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I don't think
bitch,
you know.
Excuse you.
Bitch, yeah. Like, no, you don't. You don't get to... No.
Yeah.
And so it does demonstrate, like, it is like... Hiccup's bonding with Toothless so quickly is not, and I like that when the other dragons, like that scene with the little dragons, it demonstrates that that's not unusual. That it's not just because like Toothless also is like a weird, like no, like the dragons are social.
Yep.
They are very quick to trust.
Yep.
I also like in that sequence, like when the little dragon tries to steal from Toothless and he takes the fish back and he gets all mad and it's like, I'm gonna blow fire at you, and Toothless just spits a little bolt into his mouth and he's like, ah! Yeah, it's like he's fine. He's just like, okay, you win. Yep. You're the bigger dragon.
He's like, all right, fine. I do like because like when the little dragon like spits out the tail and like rakes his claws, like getting ready to attack.
Yeah,
you can literally see Hiccup, and the way they animated his face is you can literally see Toothless's eyebrow just raise up.
Like,
it's so like really? You're gonna cut? All right, let's go.
But and I also like it. And then Toothless like laughs.
Yeah,
it's funny. He's just like, okay, and then Hiccup's like, here you go, little buddy.
Yep.
But I think that also demonstrates the social nature of the dragons. Like Hiccup, like Toothless is like, stay away from my food.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like attack the dragons because he doesn't want to share his food.
Yeah.
But he doesn't attack that. He could have killed the little dragon very
easily.
Absolutely.
And he just doesn't. He doesn't. It's very sibling-esque almost. Instead of like enemy, different speed. Like you know, if like you put a cat and a dog in the same room.
that don't
Ida
know.
and Cash.
Creatures that don't know each other.
Don't know each other, and they're gonna like either attack or like run away, or one's gonna chase the other one, something like that. But in this case, it was like, don't touch my food, and then touches my food. Really, you're gonna do that? Yeah, exactly. Just back off. It's mine.
Yeah.
But not cruelly.
Yeah, like there's not. And once, because it doesn't have to, like, it's not disproportionate.
Yeah,
I think that's so important in demonstrating how dragons react to each other. Indicates that, like, what we see in the movie, like, how quickly the dragons are to trust the Viking kids and the rest of them, and how that's so ingrained. Like, dragons are social creatures.
Yep.
This is not a hard thing to achieve. It would actually be very simple.
It's actually
what they want.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot easier than what they have been doing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, like, that's, like, something that, and we're jumping a little ahead there, but, like, what Hiccup says when trying to calm down the monstrous Night Fury is, like, we don't need to kill them. And it's like, no, you don't, actually.
No, you don't. But they think they do. And we'll get to that. But I also love every time Hiccup, the movie does it so well, is every time Hiccup learns a new thing about Toothless, he's able to use that, and he's doing great at dragon training now, because he can, I have an eel, and I like back, you hate the eel, toss it. Or he knows exactly where to scratch the dragon to make it go limp. Or he's like, I can reflect the light and make you go play with it. And and everyone's like, wow, he's amazing. He's going to kill dragons so easy. Yes. And meanwhile, Astrid is losing her goddamn mind.
She is. She's just losing her mind.
I'm the prodigy, and where did you come from?
Yeah. And what I like about it too is I feel like you mentioned it earlier. Or maybe I'm thinking about a video I watched about this movie, the cinema therapy clip, that they have a really good clip on How to Train Your Dragon. But I feel like the villagers are seeing what they want to see. Yes. They are not actually seeing what Hiccup is doing, because Hiccup is not fighting them. No. He is not smashing them. He's doing it very... Not pass. I don't know if passive.
He does a little show like back, but not like that's not how a dragon
actually
ever
like he's probably the first person to touch a dragon like without intent to harm, because he scratches the Natterhead and it's just like, oh yes please, right there, and then goes boneless. And like that's the same thing with when he finds out the grass. Toothless really likes the grass. He's rolling around in the grass, and he grabs the stuff of it, and he gets the Gronkle to like just go, yes, please. Yeah. That like very catnip. And so they're like intrigued that he's like, wow, he's defeating all these dragons, and he really isn't. He's not
you're right.
All.
They're seeing what they expect.
Exactly. And I think like that's like, because I wanted to touch a little bit with the just like writers and characters and stuff like this, the relationship between Hiccup and his father, where we see again and again just doesn't listen, and Hiccup is trying to be the whole him getting Hiccup getting into training in the first place. Yeah. And he's like, oh yep, you're going into training, and he's like, actually no, I really shouldn't. He's like, here, you're gonna need this axe. No, Dad, I really don't think. Well, you're gonna have to pick it up. And he's like, no, he's talking over him consistently, and it's really difficult. And I think like that even shows why when his father leaves to go try to find the nest, why Hiccup just gravitates more towards Toothless and hanging out with him. Is he's just like, Toothless listens to me. He probably just sits there and probably chats with him, just like not doing anything. And so I think like that's another pull there. And even when his dad comes back, Hiccup has drawings of Toothless all over his desk, and his dad does not clock them, like at all, because he's only seeing and hearing what he wants to, and that is Hiccup, quote, held his end of the bargain.
Did a great. He's the incredible. He's a prodigy dragon like slayer. He's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, his dad just has these blinders on, and all he wants to see and hear is what he wants to see and hear, not what the actual truth is. Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk about Astrid a little bit.
Yes, please. I think Astrid is absolutely wonderful. I love her so much.
Yeah, she doesn't do a lot in the first like half of the movie. Like she's there. She's just supposed to be like this example of like what an excellent like dragon hunting Viking warrior is supposed to be.
Prodigy, how you mentioned.
Yeah, prodigy, just like. But when my brother was watching with me, it was in the scene where Hiccup leaves early, and DJ, my brother, noticed Astrid's the only one that noticed he was gone. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, earlier when Gobber asked, what did Hiccup get wrong today?
Yeah.
And all the kids are dunking on him. But Astrid says he's never where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
Which is true. Like, he was in the wrong place and
Yep.
that wasn't supposed to be there. But, like, that's something I connected both of those things where it's like, she's paying attention to Hiccup.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we introduced the movie, like, Hiccup being, oh, Astrid, wow, she's so... But it's also great, he's not hitting on her the whole time,
No.
like, Snotlout is.
Yeah.
Every interaction they have
my
is him
God.
trying to hit on her.
Yeah. You look like you work out.
Yeah. Like, in, like, the best way, actually. It's like, yeah,
he's like, I just moved into my parents' basement. I got a gym set up. You should come over and work out. You look like you work out.
It's like, just if you ever wanted to. And so, but, like, the fact that she, like, doesn't really interact with anyone, and but the fact that she, like, clocks, like, and yeah, you could say it's like, oh, it was in the fight. Yeah, he's not. She's like, no. She said never. He's never where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that noticed he was gone. And she's so upset that he's better than her all of a sudden. And it's like, but as soon as she interacts, like, we get that when she goes to figure out what's going on, and it's after Hiccup has been, you're the best in your class, you're going to get to kill the dragon. And he's like, all right, we're going on a vacation.
Yeah, can I interject just real fast? So also, I like what that, just building off of what you were saying, is that everyone else, like, even Gobber even says, like, he's like, oh, he's gone most afternoons, but, you know, who can blame him? But they don't really think about it. No one's really thinking about it. But Astrid, because he's trying to leave right before they're like, oh, you get to kill the dragon. And he's like, I'm late for, and she goes, what? Late for what? Exactly. She is the only one that asks.
Yeah, it's like, what is it you're doing?
Yes, exactly. Sorry.
No, yeah, that's another good point. So when he's like, all right, Toothless, you and I are going on a vacation. We're out of here. We're gone.
Yep.
And Astrid is there. She's
leaving.
Yeah, she's followed him. And he's like, what is going on? Who are you training with? He's like, yeah, it's me. It's all a trick. Because he doesn't want her to see Toothless. And when she does, her first instinct is to, like, try to protect Hiccup. Like, she throws him down. Yeah. She, like, tries to...
She get down! And then she goes up to attack.
And then, obviously, Hiccup stops her. And like, you scared him.
I scared him?
Yeah.
Who is him?
And immediately she's like, all right, she, like, runs and she's like, we're dead.
We're dead. Where are you going? I just like it. Toothless is just like, all right,
I'm fine with her. Yeah, I scared her off. That was the goal. Where are you? No. So they grab Astrid. He's like, please let me explain. And they're like, I'll just fly with you. And Toothless is still pissed. So he terrorizes her a little bit when they're flying, but eventually...
They go in the water.
Yeah.
It took me, like, maybe the fourth time I watched it, I didn't realize he dives from that height into the ocean and then back out. That is terrifying.
Yeah, no wonder he's so scared. And Hiccup's so mad.
Yes. Thank you for nothing, you useless reptile.
But eventually, like, it evens out, and Astrid is realizing, wait, I'm not in danger, and this is amazing.
Yeah, it's as soon as she apologizes. She's like, okay, I'm sorry. And that's when Toothless.
Yeah, you're right. It is, like, Toothless being like, no, I don't want to fly with her. She was mean to me.
Yeah.
I don't want her around. Why are we doing this? And as soon as she's like, okay, well, all right, you're sorry. Great.
Yeah, pretty much. And when he's like, all right, we're cool now.
And then when she gets off and they're like, hey, what are you gonna do? Like, you have to kill a dragon tomorrow. Yeah. You can't do that.
And I absolutely love that, because when she goes, you're gonna turn your back on generations of just what we've been doing, and your dad, you're not gonna tell him where the nest is to save
right, because they find the nest. We don't.
Yes.
Yeah, I skipped. Yeah.
No, you're good. We can jump back to that. But they find the nest and
they find out there's a giant queen kind of dragon
thing
they have to bring food to, and if they don't, that's what you mentioned earlier, the only time we see dragons die is when this dragon eats them.
And he turns to her, and this is, we've seen, like, Hiccup's very, like, stammery, he's not really confident in himself, he's this. This is the first time he stands up straight back
tall.
And he looks at her and he says yes, and she goes, okay.
He's completely confident and sure of himself.
And he's like,
this.
He's like, I will protect Toothless. I'm gonna protect Toothless.
Yeah.
And she respects that. She's instantly like, okay. She's not gonna argue with him. She's not gonna do anything. And I love that. And it shows, like, even, like, these characters aren't really involved much at this point. They're just getting to know each other. And I think, like, that shows just leaps and bounds of Astrid's character as well. Just, like, being like, okay, that's your decision, and I will respect that.
Yeah, I think that's great. I will also argue that I think Astrid has had a crush on Hiccup this whole time.
I will say that too.
I think she's had a crush on Hiccup. Low-key has had a crush on Hiccup, because the noticing him all the time wherever he's at, and then how angry she is getting, that is born of a pre-existing emotion.
Yes, I think that too, because it's like they get along, and like how she kisses him on the cheek.
That's it, and she's like, okay, she's willing to. She's like, that's for scaring me, and then and that's for everything else.
And I really do think like there
must have been one dragon flight wasn't enough to get her smitten with the boy. Like she already she was probably embarrassed that she had a crush on Hiccup because why this?
Yeah,
I'm the prodigy, and this fucking loser.
This
why
nerd?
Why do I have a crush on the? Of course, she's the jock. She's a crush on the secret crush on the nerd. She's like, oh, it's so. I hate him so much. I hate him. That's what it is. No, I don't like him. I hate him. He's he's never where he's supposed to be. No, obviously, I hate him.
Yep, I agree with that.
Nah, I don't hate him.
She's like, no,
so
actually.
That's what I would argue. I think Astrid has had a crush on Hiccup this whole time.
And I also think like Hiccup is becoming more comfortable in his uniqueness.
Yes.
And I think that is
when she's like,
when she's because she's like, he's unique and he's accepting it,
like
fully.
The confidence of I will stand up.
Yes.
Like, that's I think I have a crush on him and I'm embarrassed by it. But as soon as he like demonstrates who's like confidence, his like he's gonna stick to his guns. He's gonna like she respects that.
Yeah, because I think
when
like
she kisses him.
I think like that's a big like that's also like grit in a different way.
Yeah,
it's like because like the Vikings are like, oh, grit, we kill things, and his grit is he is willing to stand up to his entire village and say no.
Yep.
That is an different.
Morals,
that is so morally awesome, but also like takes so much more courage than it would to kill a dragon.
Yeah,
because you were going against the people who you love and love you, and you're saying no. Anyway,
it's great, and so I love, and also it's like it's very quick how close the relationship is after.
Yes.
Also, they share this secret. They both know about Toothless, and when Hiccup's like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna try to show them all, and if something goes wrong, please make sure Toothless is okay. Like that's all Hiccup cares about. Is like he's like, I cannot kill this dragon, which means I can't keep this secret anymore. But if this goes bad, there will be no one to protect Toothless.
Him.
And I think Astrid is knowing. I think he's like storytelling perspective. If Astrid didn't know, I think Hiccup would have had to kill the dragon.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the only way he can keep this secret to continue to protect Toothless.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was just him and something happened to him, no one would be able to help Toothless.
Yeah.
And Toothless, he knows it's wrong. He knows that they're wrong about the dragons, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
But Toothless is going to be his priority.
Yep.
And I would argue that if there, because the thing he asked of her is, don't let anything happen to Toothless, right? And so, if Astrid wasn't there, because Toothless can't even hunt by himself. He can't fly. He can't swim without someone.
Yep.
Like, so, basically, if something happened to Hiccup because he tried to stand up to his village, and something happened to him, and he wasn't, like, I'm not saying the village would kill him, but, like, if something happened, he wasn't free to go take care of Toothless again, like, Toothless would starve to death without him. So I would think Astrid being in on the secret is actually part of what empowers Hiccup to make this stance.
Yeah.
Because he knows someone will take care of Toothless if he cannot.
I like that. Yep.
And so I think that's very cool. And he does, and he even takes off the helmet that his father gave him that was half of his mother's breastplate. They have a matching set. It's so funny.
Yeah.
God, this movie is funny.
You know what? That also reminds me is like kind of going back to my earlier statement of like they're seeing what they want to see. Yeah. Is every time Toothless interacts with a dragon, he drops everything. Yeah. He doesn't have a shield, doesn't have his weapon, he doesn't have his helmet on. Because that's like how he takes out, I think it was, the Gronkle for the last time. Yeah. Is that you see him right before it happens, he's got his helmet, he's got his dagger, he's got a shield, and then when the Gronkle's just like all blissed out.
Right, he doesn't have any of the equipment. He doesn't have anything
on it. And so that's like this time when he's front and center, like he's always been front and center, but this time it's more intense focus. He drops his shield and drops his dagger, and everyone's like, what is he doing? Like, what is happening? And then he drops his helmet and everyone's like,
he says, I'm not one of them.
I'm not one of them.
The complete like reversal of, I'm a Viking just like you. Yes. I'm not one of them.
Yep. And he's
with such disdain in his voice, like is just realizing like no one even tried. Yeah. It was so, like, I think this, like, rage that Hiccup has, like, it was so easy for me to befriend the dragon and help these other ones. And, like, this has been, like, so easy, actually, because I tried, and none of them ever tried.
Yep. And
in their defense, though, monsters attacking their village pretty regularly. They're starving to death over the winter. I don't know if this movie states that what is the canon of this movie is that Hiccup's mom was killed by a dragon.
Yeah. It's implied.
It's implied without being. She could have died for other sickness, things like that. Yeah. But statistically, she died in a dragon siege. Yeah. So.
Yep. Absolutely. The monstrous nightmare. I don't think we've seen him in like daylight before. Yeah. And this is the first time we see the monstrous nightmare in daylight. Looks so cool with the bright reds. Yeah. And I do, just kind of jumping into the end of that fight is when the only reason why the monstrous nightmare starts to fight again is because Stoic, again, not listening to Hiccup, because Hiccup's like, no, I need you to see this. And I mean, like, that's also fair because he's watching his son face down a monstrous nightmare.
But but even the Stoic's reaction isn't like, my son is in danger, I'm worried. He's angry about what he's saying. Yeah, the fact that Hiccup's like, I'm not like them. No, you need to see this. True. Like, it is Stoic reacting to what is a threat to his understanding of the world.
I agree.
Like, and also probably like he's been embarrassed of his son a lot because Hiccup doesn't behave like a Viking, and that has embarrassed him and caused damage. And here Hiccup is not acting like a Viking, and Stoic is probably angry and embarrassed by his son. Like, what are you doing this time? Yep. And then he bangs on the thing, and it's the noise. We know dragons don't like that loud noise, disorients them. Yep. And that's when Hiccup, now totally unarmed, is being attacked by the dragon.
Monstrous nightmare.
And Toothless hears him.
Toothless hears his scream. Oh. And I made a note of that, is like where Toothless could not escape for himself, he does for Hiccup.
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, Toothless can't get out. He cannot get out of the gale, the grove, whatever it is. He cannot climb out of this like cliffside. What's it called? These cliffs.
That's a cliff. I would say like a cliff. Yeah. Depression. That was the word I was looking for.
Depression with these like tall cliffs on either side.
That's the word. I finally found it. Just came.
But yeah, he cannot. He could not. But yeah, that. Oh my god, that made me so weepy. Is that Toothless can get out for Hiccup, because it also demonstrates like it's not just Hiccup who's benefited from this relationship. Toothless very clearly has
also
too.
Likes him. Yes, exactly. He enjoys his company as well.
Yeah, the close up on Toothless's claws, just like digging tighter into the stone to pull himself out. So he's racing through the woods and just diving through, blasting through the cage.
And what I like about that,
this arena, into where dragons are captured and killed, into where the Vikings are at. Does not care.
And what I love about it is Toothless has the telltale sound of a Night Fury coming, and Gobber's like, Night Fury, he knows instantly.
Yeah, like in the daytime. That's terror. Everything's already going wrong down here, and now there's a Night Fury out in the day. And I love the smoke, or like the dust and the shadow from the smoke and stuff, and you can't really see what's going on for a second for viewing it after Toothless has dived in, reviewing it from the outside the way the other Vikings would be seeing it. Because Astrid, it's so great. Because Astrid immediately, when things go wrong, she like gets the thing open and tries to go in to help.
And because it's like, I think that's a good thing, because she knows she can fight. Hiccup can't.
He can't do this.
Hiccup, she knows.
She doesn't bring the axe in with her. Like, she grabs for the axe like she always does, but she uses it to as pop open tool. The thing, and she gets in there without a weapon because she has seen that like, maybe I can help defuse the situation, because I saw Hiccup do it without a weapon, so like, and she doesn't go in armed and ready to fight. Like, she goes in just to try to help him the way she knows that this is the way you're supposed to do it.
And the only time she does is she
gets the hammer.
She gets a hammer, and again, not an axe or something that could hurt the dragon. She gets a hammer to like hit it, to be like, look at me, and then
to get it away from him. Exactly. So it gets her out, but isn't able to get Hiccup out, and that's when Toothless shows up. And is just literally drives the monstrous nightmare back away from
and
Hiccup.
I've made I made a note too, because I think the Toothless has an advantage over the monstrous Night Fury, just like point blank. Toothless has more limbs. Because the Night Fury has the two legs.
It's like a wyvern.
He's a wyvern. He doesn't have an extra legs.
Arms.
And so, and you even see Toothless, like, he's doing the cat thing where he's like pawing. He's like, get away. Like, he's mine. Back off.
It's very, and the monstrous nightmare gets off. All the Vikings go in, and Toothless attacking Stoic, and we do see the fire start to conjure, and we can see the light.
Yep.
But he listens to Hiccup, and
Because,
and I love the. So say.
Oh, I was just gonna say because he's protecting Hiccup.
He's just protecting.
That's
Hiccup.
That he's just running on like protect.
Yeah, he's willing to fight off dragons and Vikings for Hiccup. Yep. Now, and when Hiccup's like, no, stop. And I love Toothless's eyes, how they like his pupils will dilate. Yeah. And as soon as he's angry, they're very thin. And as soon as he's listening to Hiccup, they dilate and are wider again. Yeah. It's very expressive. Good. It's very good. I don't know how this live action movie is gonna go. Yeah. Like, I'm nervous. I don't. That's like The Lion King was the exact same way. Oh yeah, it was beautiful. Like, yes, lovely, like technical work. Yep. But like I didn't care about any of these characters because real animals don't emote like that. Although I would argue that like my cat and my dog absolutely emote, but that's because I'm very, very familiar with them. Yes, with them. Yeah. I don't see like even when other cats, like I don't read their reactions the same way I read Ida's reactions or Cash's reactions, or the way I could read Hero's reactions. Yeah, like I'm the same with Vivi. Like, absolutely. They are like, not to say like real life animals aren't emotive, but like that familiarity doesn't exist. Also, if you have like human beings trying to recreate, like that's just not happening. And so like this is a movie that absolutely, like, not to say like any of these live action movies needed to be made, but like of movies that absolutely didn't need a live action remake for any reason, How to Train Your Dragon fucking didn't. Yeah. Like, I cannot imagine that we are going to get, it's just the disrespect. Here's Darien's rant corner. These live action movies just demonstrate an inherent disrespect that even studios who've built themselves off animation would so much prefer not to be kid studios and make a grown-up adult movies for people. Because that's the only reason you turn around and remake movies that were incredibly successful from the jump into another medium that does not in any way elevate the medium. Like like what we said at the top, how this movie has aged so beautifully. So beautifully. For like a decade and a half later, this movie is still beautiful. And movies like Jurassic World that came out, or not like later. Jurassic World came out later. Yeah. But like they don't. Those graphics, they don't hold up. Like some do. Jurassic Park absolutely does. Like the original Star Wars. Yeah, original Star Wars. Some of them they do hold. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Narnia. I just like those. Not to say they all age poorly. Yeah. But statistically, animated movies also hold up. It's like you don't need when you remake a video game, you don't turn around and be like, we're gonna remake it in fucking you remake a video game because the technology where it's at now doesn't make it as an accessible thing for audiences to consume in the same way. Yeah. Right? Like Final Fantasy VII. Yes. Whatever you think about the remake, you still remake it because a new player can't approach the original game in the same way they could a new version of it. Like, that's absolutely. Why you. And I mean, like, even. The point I meant to make. Yeah, I'll get back to just. No, you're good. What I was trying to say is there's no way this live action Toothless is gonna be cute. Yeah. I'm not gonna love him. Yeah. You can't make me love I bet it'll be cool. It'll be cool, but is he gonna be a cat? Do you understand that this is my cat? Yeah. I don't think you do. Yeah. I feel like cat people really relate. And they even, like, in one of the cutout scenes where Hiccup puts the thing on Toothless's tail for the first time, they recorded a cat. They taped something on a cat's tail and watched the cat, like, jump around and flail around. And they used that to make that scene. So very cat. It's like, do you understand that this is my cat? And not only does it need to move like an elegant cat and prowl, it also needs to look derpy as fuck. Yeah. I need this thing to look derpy and emotive and weird. Yes, exactly. So that's there. I acknowledge that next year there's going to be a live action How to Train Your Dragon coming out. And I'm sure it's going to be fine. Yeah. Here's the fucking problem is that Beauty and Beast made $1 billion. Yeah. And that's why we still are getting these movies, even though the recent ones have been poorer and poorer in returns and often quality, except I actually think the live action Little Mermaid was pretty fucking good. I did think that was pretty good. That one is beautiful. And I think the story changes they did elevated the original in new and interesting ways. And I liked Prince Eric very much. Yeah. I thought he was a good boy who just wanted to travel. And I thought I liked that they hit harder. Ariel is obsessed with the human world, but they didn't shy away from, but she's also super in love with Prince Eric. Yeah. Like, just outright being like, it's okay, gang, they're soulmates.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What I and so like for me, I'm like, it's like for me, it's like the very kind a little going off the rails here, but with the coming out with the BioShock movie or series or whatever it's coming out, they're coming out with something like that. And so for me, it's like I really like the BioShock games. I really enjoy them. Am I nervous about a show? Yes. Am I nervous that it's coming out on Netflix? Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm kind of approaching it like wary, but I'm pessimistic optimistic.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's how I feel with
Fallout
this
show
remake.
just came out.
Yeah, which was great.
Like, I don't think adaptations, I think, are so interesting.
Yes.
I think can be so interesting. Like, this is an adaptation of a book.
Yeah.
Like, some of my favorite things are like Good Omens is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Good Omens season 1 is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And I think it is such a strong adaptation of the book. I think adaptation is one thing. Live action remake is another.
Yeah.
And there's like rumors now that there might be a Kingdom Hearts movie. And I'm like,
God.
don't do that.
No, that sounds wild.
But 15 years ago, there was a Kingdom Hearts animated series in development.
Oh, yeah.
That they ended up scrapping early on.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's when that should have come out. Like, that would have been good before this lore got convoluted. Just do one season based off the first game. Like, let's roll it. I don't even know how you do this now. But, like, adapting a video game into another it's just taking a movie and remaking it into another movie, but the thing you're not, like, there are tons of movies that are remakes of older movies that are great and interesting, and just fun and weird for whatever reason. But like, it is the adapting animated movies and turning them into live action one. I think it demonstrates the inherent disrespect of animation.
Yeah.
So if we get to 100 patrons, we'll talk about the live action How to Train Your Dragon. For now, we talk about how everything goes wrong.
Everything goes wrong in such a good way.
Yeah.
Because, like, right after they capture Toothless, and, like, Hiccup and his dad have this scene where I really like, where his dad goes, they've killed hundreds of us, and Hiccup retorts with, and we've killed thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a good, like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah. You can't, we're talking, like, and earlier Astrid referred to it as, like, our parents' war is about to be ours.
Yes.
Choose, like, pick a side.
Pick a side.
And it's, like, it does relate to, like, yeah, this is perceived as, like, it's not just pest control.
Yeah.
Right? Pest control, the pests don't ever they cannot fight back.
Yeah.
This is war. But in war, judging it based off how many one side is killed, and it's like, yeah, but this other side has also killed. Like, that is not how you decide who is in the right here.
Yep.
And I think that's so interesting. It's also like Toothless Hiccup trying to explain to his dad. And I think they've argued a lot. And this is the first time I feel like Hiccup has really
stood his
back
ground.
and stood his ground and been like, no, absolutely not. And it doesn't matter. Like you said, like, his dad is not listening. He does not
because his dad, the only thing his dad latches onto is that Toothless or Hiccup was at the nest.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that only a dragon can find the nest. And that's the only thing Stoic hears.
Yeah. The only thing he cares about is this perceived need to protect the village and destroy all dragons.
Yep.
And so they take Toothless and they attach him to the ship and like, we're going to go sailing until you react. And that's actually a really good plan.
Yeah.
It's a really good plan.
It's actually a really good plan.
It's so fucking simple.
Yeah.
And yet none of them ever thought.
They
had dragons.
They had dragons
chained up.
Yep.
Like they never even thought that dragons could be useful beyond teaching them how to kill them better.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, that is so like underlying the problem that they're facing.
Yep.
It reminded me of bird watching.
Oh yeah.
Weirdly enough, the early bird watching was largely, we're gonna hunt and kill birds.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that's how you boasted your bird collection, right? You would hunt the
yeah.
birds, you'd taxidermy them. Like that was how you were in the bird science. Like you hunted and killed the bird and like stuffed them, and that's how you learned about them. And then there was this one guy who was trying to find a certain kind of bird, and he saw what he thought was a bird, but he wasn't sure if it was the bird. So he just like hung out and waited for like a long time.
Yeah.
Hours. I can't remember exactly. But eventually he did confirm, yeah, that is the bird I've been looking for.
Yeah.
And wow, it blends into this environment perfectly.
Yeah.
And he wrote about it and he was like, I never would have noticed that it had this camouflage ability if I had just killed it.
Yeah.
And literally he's like, And he was like this big dude on this like the Victorian era, big dude on the bird scene, right? And he's like, hey, I think maybe we shouldn't kill the birds. Yeah. Maybe we could learn more about the birds if we watched them while they were alive
instead.
And that like caught on. Yeah. Like, wait, and that's like really what it is. It's like, hey, you have these books that are supposed to teach you about dragons, but every one of them says if you encounter a dragon, you should just kill it. And every information you have about dragons is based off of them in an unnatural situation for the dragon to be in. And you've drawn the conclusion that that must be how the dragon behaves. Yep. And it reminds me of another thing from a philosopher, and oh god, her name escapes me, but she said this thing, we are rarely in lifeboats, is something I really liked. And it refers to those like philosophical thought experiments that claim that like, oh, if you have 5 people in a lifeboat and they're running out of supplies, like the way they behave demonstrates the true nature of humanity. Yeah. And her thing is like, but we are rarely in lifeboats. Yeah. Like, judging a person based off of an unnatural situation does not reveal anything about a person or about humanity or about what we are as people. Yep. Like, that is not who we are. Like, who we are in our worst, most dire, most unnatural is not us. Yep. And so the idea is like what these dragons are when they are being attacked and killed and are in danger and threatened are not actually what the dragons are. Yep.
And I like that's a really good point, because it's like one of the big things is like when Astrid and Hiccup have that really good scene where they're talking and he admits that the reason why he couldn't kill Toothless was because he saw himself. Yeah. He was as frightened as I was. Yeah. And just really like that. And then he decides he's going to do something crazy. And then he ends up getting all of the kids with all the dragons, and they're going to go fly to the nest. And what I love about it is the dragons don't immediately come out and go like attack. They come out and they're curious, and it's like one is like they don't feel under threat, but it's also Hiccup has been working on them.
Yeah, he's been training the dragons.
Yeah, he's been kind to them. He's been doing all these things. So like that's the thing is like before they were trapped and attacked and like done all these things, but then Hiccup comes and he watches them and like, you know, more or less doesn't actually watch them, but like in the same sense of like he doesn't treat them the way that everyone else has been treating them. Yeah. And then when they finally come out to interact with other people, they are not what everyone thinks or says that they are. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Yeah. And I like that Snotlot is scared at first. He starts to go grab like a broken piece of spear, and Astrid's like, no, don't do that. And they all like, I like that Hiccup like has them do the hand thing. And the dragon, like I said, like are so easy to do that. And I think one could look and be like, that's unrealistic. They just wouldn't trust him so quickly. But everything we have seen about dragons indicates the opposite. Like what we have talked about, how this movie worked so hard to demonstrate dragons are social. They see connections. This is when they are not threatened, they are very quick to trust. Yep. And the movie did a lot of legwork to get us to believe that dragons and Vikings don't have to be at war. Like this is not what the dragons are experiencing and what the Vikings are experiencing is not the natural state for either of them, actually. And the problem is there's a giant bully dragon who lives in a mountain that eats them if they don't bring it food.
Yeah, it's like that is the problem. It's the queen bee. I think how Astrid describes the dragon.
It's a hive.
Yeah, it's a hive and she's the queen bee.
Except in a hive, the queen bee doesn't eat the bees if they don't bring back enough pollen. Like that's not... So this is even that is an unnatural situation that has been like created by this much bigger, much more ancient dragon. Yep. And that just relies on the other dragons to feed it. Yep. But the other dragons don't get anything because the queen bee that bees protect because she lays the eggs. Yes. This dragon is in no way a benefit to the rest of the dragons. Like it's not their queen. It is just a monster. Like this is the monster the dragon. So the dragons sacrifice to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when Astrid and Hiccup first stumble upon it, she goes, they're not eating any of it. They eat none of the food that they take. Yeah, because they have
to. It's nice to know all of our food's just getting dropped into this giant pit.
Yeah, it's like great, and so it's it's interesting too. It's like just from that, it's like the dragons could be starving themselves.
Yeah.
Hoping that they don't get eaten themselves.
Yeah.
So
like,
it's
the
really a bad. Yeah.
They hunt, but the dragons probably hunt like wildlife, right? But that takes time.
Yes.
And you don't get a lot when you're hunting. But if you can just go to the village where they have a bunch of sheep, a bunch of fish, and like pick it all up really quick, that saves you.
Yep.
So and then they have to spend all their time feeding this dragon rather than feeding themselves. So because that was the thing I was like trying to figure out, like, why don't we empathize with, if we decided that we could befriend dragons, why do we not take that approach to this dragon? It's like, it's because the movie demonstrated that this dragon is in fact a monster.
Yep.
Is the beast that lives in the cave.
Yep.
Because as we said, we don't see any dragons die except for when this one eats two of them. Like, we don't, like, this dragon is not friendly with the other dragons, right? Like, when Toothless was annoyed with the little dragon, he didn't kill it. He just said, get away from me, man.
Yep.
This dragon does not have that. This is some sort of beast. It is not part of, like, it does not have that sense of collective and connection and socialization that the other dragons have. It is just a
I'm
terror.
in charge.
It's a monster.
Yep. Agreed. I really do like that whole situation because it's the first time that Stoic is like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I really fucked up. And he even says, he's like, I was a fool or something like that. But what I do like is, like, the reason why we like Stoic is, like, despite him not listening to Hiccup and making fun of his son and doing all these things, is like, the first moment is that he tells Hiccup, you're not my son, and he walks out the door, but then immediately has that moment where he steps back. He's like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that. But then he has to pick himself up. He's like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking about the village. He's thinking about,
because he is the chief.
He has to think of the whole. And that's here again. He gives this monster dragon someone to hunt. He is sacrificing himself to save his people.
And this, and it's very, Stoic is great. It reminds me of in Brave, where when Mirda and her mother get into that fight, and then her mom throws her bow in the fire.
Yes.
And then and Mirda runs off, and as soon as she realizes what
she did,
what have I done? She reaches into the fire to try to get the bow out, because she's like, not a bad person. She's not a bad mother. She's a person who is flawed, and like Stoic is a person who is flawed, who has been raised in an environment where these are the expectations, and my child is not following it, and that poses a threat to my child and the entire community that we live in.
I mean, we get that right from the very beginning. Like, I have an entire winter is coming, and I have an entire village to feed. So yeah, he is feeling the pressure too.
Yep, it's very good. But when the kids show up. And
we're riding on dragons!
Look at us! We're riding on dragons! It's also
so
important to yell that so your parents don't actually attack the dragons that you're on, because they don't know. Oh, great, more dragons showed up. But yeah, because all the dragons, as soon as they blast a hole in the side of the mountain, they all bounce.
Yes.
And then the monster comes out.
Yep, and what I like,
what is it called? Like, what's the formal name for that creature?
I honestly don't know. I don't think so. They might come up with...
It's not the alpha.
No, it's not the alpha.
Because the second movie.
I honestly think it's the female to the alpha, but I'm not entirely sure. What I like about when they show up, Gobber says, he basically is talking to Stoic, and he says, I didn't write it down. I really should have. He's just the stubborn-headed Viking as you ever were. And Stoic's like, yeah, actually. So it's like they are very alike.
It is called the Red Death.
The Red Death. Wonderful.
It's a Stoker class dragon.
Yep.
Cool.
Love it.
But yeah, I was like, there's got to be a name for it.
Yeah, so, I like that. Well, also, I did make a note, was like when they first arrive on the island, and when Stoic jumps out of the ship and lands on the beach, and it goes dead silent, and it's so creepy, and I fucking love it. But no, this whole ending scene is just absolutely brilliant. The fight between Toothless. Oh, I like before the fight is Toothless, his father, and Hiccup. All three of them make amends with one another.
Yeah,
and that's really sweet because Stoic admits that he was wrong, which is huge.
Yeah, and I mean it's a pretty good sweeping way to make amends, where Hiccup is trying to free Toothless, and the ship goes down, and he's under the water, and he's drowning, and Stoic pulls him out, and then dives back in and gets Toothless out immediately. Like, that's a pretty good way to make amends. I love a sweeping gesture. And then when Hiccup's about to take off, Stoke's like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it does demonstrate that he worries for his son. Like,
Yes.
he is afraid for his son.
Yep.
He's an imperfect parent who loves his kid.
Absolutely. And what I really like is, like, at the beginning of the movie when he goes, when Stoic is like, we have to find the nest and take it. We have to destroy it. Mm-hmm. And they say, none of those ships come back. And he goes, we're Vikings. It's an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
And here at the end, when Stoic says, you don't have to do it, and Hiccup, not even aware that his father had said those words, repeats, we're Vikings. It's an occupational hazard.
Does he not know his dad said that?
He doesn't. He wasn't in the room.
Delivered feels like he's echoing it back.
No,
but you're right.
He wasn't in the room.
Know.
He has no, because while Stoic is in that room giving that, he's like, all right, anybody who stay here has to look after Hiccup. And they're
yeah, that's right. That's right.
So Hiccup has no idea that his father said that. He just So he I think even that, like, if we want to dig really into it, Stoic doesn't realize how much of himself is in his son until that moment, this moment. He goes, oh, he is my son. He is every inch of a Viking that I am, just in a different way, and that doesn't make him any less.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I love it as soon as they're on. And I also like how the Vikings do possess a great deal of knowledge about dragons and dragon weaknesses. And I do like how, especially in this climax, that information is not considered useless.
Yes.
Also, like, the dragon is called the Red Death, and the dragons that from the book that were the big bad dragons they had to deal with were the Green Death and the Purple Death.
I like
so
that.
So that's another thing beat from, like, listen, not all dragons can be our friends.
Yes.
Some of them are dicks.
Agreed.
This one
and like
sucks.
Yep, and what I like about this too is, like, from all the training is they look for a blind spot. They try to disorient it with noise. They try to figure out how much shots it has.
Yeah.
And it's surpassing all of them. They don't. So it's really like, whoa, this dragon is an entirely new class that we haven't really encountered yet.
And so the way that it's, like, I love Hiccup's, like, it has wings. Okay, so let's get it in the air.
And I love that because how strong is Toothless to knock this thing over? So good.
Fast.
So fast, so good.
Yeah, and how they're so smart, because that's what Hiccup is. He's very intelligent.
Yes.
That's why he, like, builds things and makes things and, like, is an inventor and can figure out how to get a dragon back in the air. Like, he is so smart, and that was woven through from the very first scene all the way to this battle at the end where he and Toothless are in the air, and Toothless is sending blasts at the dragon, and it's like, well, Toothless he's powerful, but he's not. Those are like BB guns against an armored tank. Like, what is it? Because he's aiming for the wings.
He's aiming for the wings. And he's also, Hiccup is playing to Toothless's strength of flying in the dark. They go into the storm clouds so Toothless can vanish. And it's I get chills again. It's so fucking good.
And I love it. The heightened stakes of the scene where the prosthetic fin is burning up, and he's like, just a little longer, just a little longer.
Just hold.
It's okay, just hold. And Toothless does. He trusts him.
Yep.
And they're going, and then finally they're diving back down, and he turns, and he's like, and we see the dragon, the Red Death opens its maw, and they're like, okay, now.
Yep.
Because that one last bit of information about a dragon's weakness that none of them would know unless they had absorbed them in their natural state is that they're not so fireproof on the inside.
Exactly.
And so as soon as the dragon, and it's methane is what the stokers go off of. And so it's filled its cavity up with a bunch of gas about to, like, let it go. But Toothless is faster.
Yep.
Like, and it just ignites, and they're so close to the ground, and Toothless is able to dart out of the way. And when the dragon spreads its wings, they're damaged, and it just burns up. They can't stop itself before it hits.
Yep, the holes that Toothless has shot through that will keep it in the air, but then all of a sudden trying to fill the wings with that much wind to stop that much force just
rips because they're burning, and it burns it up so fast, and it just goes down when it hits the ground. It's like the fucking Hindenburg.
Yeah, it explodes. I write that. I'm like, literally explodes the dragon.
Yeah, like, incredible. And it's like all these pieces, everything that, like, Toothless and Hiccup had learned together, like, comes in right here, entire payoff. And then Hiccup comes loose. He doesn't have the saddle. He comes loose again.
Because the fin breaks off, and then they hit the tail, and he goes flying off.
And Toothless, we just see Hiccup falling into the inferno, and Toothless just reaching for him.
Yep. And what's it's like,
because dragons, they're not fireproof on the inside, but they are on the outside.
And I think, like, that's what we see. We see Toothless again, and he has wrapped himself entirely around Hiccup because he is fireproof and he knows Hiccup is not.
Yeah, and they hit the ground.
Emotional.
And it's so good. It was like, yeah, they probably hit the ground and they were pretty rough, but like, Toothless isn't singed because of course he's not, and Hiccup is okay. Well, mostly okay.
Mostly okay. He's like, and that's like
Stoic comes. He's like, oh my god, you brought him back alive.
And that's I've actually quoted that. He's alive. You brought him back alive, and I think that does like kind of fit with Toothless and the Night Fury's description of being lightning and death itself. I think for the Vikings, it's like, yep, that proves it. He's freaking death itself. He brought someone back to life. I think that would just fit into the narrative that they have in their minds of the Night Fury.
This like vaguely supernatural aspect of these creatures.
Absolutely. And I think I like Gobbert is like, he's like, thank you for saving my son. Well, most of them.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, I love that it cuts to the next scene and Hiccup's waking up in his house. And Toothless is in my house. You are in my house. This is my dad here. Like, and what I like about he doesn't know what has happened.
Yeah, and what I like about it is like Toothless is so cat in that moment because he literally steps on Hiccup, and I'm like, how many times has my cat like jumped on me? And I'm like, oh my god, like right in the stomach, like oh my god.
As soon as Eda Kit realizes I'm awake in the morning, she's immediately like, oh good, you're up. Good morning. How are you?
And just the zoomies and jumping around on everything.
Yeah, we don't know how long poor Toothless has been waiting for Hiccup to wake up a while, and because when Hiccup gets out of bed, one of his legs is like from the knee down.
His left
missing.
leg.
Yeah.
And
exactly the same side where the fin
is. Yep, they're both. I love that shot where they're walking and you see Hiccup's leg and then Toothless's tail swishes in, and you notice that it's both the same side.
Yeah,
I really like that. Mm-hmm. I also had an epiphany here where I wrote it in all caps. Is this why I call Vivi and all cats Bud? Because he calls Toothless Bud, and I'm like,
oh, Bud.
What?
Probably.
I'm like, I do, but I didn't even realize that until right now. Yeah. Oh my god. Because I'm like, hey, Vivi, Bud. Like, that's Vivi, what I do Bud. That all the time.
No, it's good. And I love, he's like, opens the door, and there are dragons outside. He's like, oh shit. Okay, buddy, you stay in here.
Yep.
And then he realizes, oh wait, there are dragons inside because everyone, and it's the first time we see Burke in this pure sunlight.
We've seen it
done daytime, but it's always overcast and gray. It's so colorful, and they've rebuilt buildings, and the buildings have dragon motif now.
Dragon motif,
the same colors as the dragons,
and they also have like perches, and they've made repurposed the
bowls
fire,
so the dragons
can eat out of them instead of filling it with hay, so they could set it on fire. They're all now full of fish so that the dragons can come eat. And it's like, of course there's more fish. Like, they have more time to do that.
Yeah, they are fighting dragons now. Yep. And the dragons are there for them. And it's like, hey, Hiccup, you were definitely out for a while.
Yeah,
this is some intense infrastructure we have seen. Like, my man, you've been out.
Yep.
Also, like, his leg, the wound is probably mostly healed because he doesn't seem to be having I mean, it's like
it's still on like a little painful, but
it's probably not a fresh amputation.
Yes, exactly.
And I love when he's out and he's looking around and he's surrounded by the crowd and someone yells, Night Fury, everyone down!
Get down!
Because and they're very used to probably Toothless bounding around and just jumping off of people's shoulders.
Yep, and that's what he does. That's what I love. And I love that because throughout the whole movie, that's what they say in the beginning too. They hear that. They're Night Fury, get down!
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's Night Fury, get down, but for an entirely different reason.
Because we hear it 3 times. Like, Night Fury, get down at the beginning when the scene at the thing, I think Gobbert yells Night Fury.
Yep, I think so too.
Another thing we hear 3 times is people being like, Hiccup, you're just kind of all this, or you need to change
all of this. We do hear that 3 times.
And he's like, you just gestured out all of me. And they do it 3 times, and then the last time it is like, we just needed more of this. You just gestured at all of me.
Yep. It's like, and then Astrid again, she does that 3 times too.
Yeah.
What was it? The first time she like knocks him down and then smacks the
butt of her axe on him.
And then she punches him and then kisses him on the cheek, and then this time she punches him. That's for scaring me. And then she kisses him fully.
He's like, this is how it's always going to be with you? And then kisses him right on the mouth.
I could live with that.
Astrid, this woman has been waiting for Hiccup to wake up so she can make a big public show.
Oh, yeah.
This is my boyfriend.
Yep. And
back off, Roughnut.
Yes, and I do think, like, just like going back to that, where Roughnut's like, you're crazy, and looks around and goes, I like that.
And she's like, nope.
And she grabs her hair and pulls her away. That, to me, was like one of the first signs that, oh, no, Astrid's liked Hiccup for a while.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, go away.
No.
No.
But I like that she pulls her away, but isn't like bitchy to
yeah, she's just
more like, nope,
no,
we're not doing that.
Nope, we're just gonna remove this.
Refocus. But instantly, this woman is like, this is my boyfriend.
Yep.
And I'm gonna need you all
to know.
To step.
Yep.
Like, and
it's very good.
Great. And also, it's like she's probably like, yeah, she's liked him forever. He's like, oh my god, he almost died, and I never actually got a chance to kiss him.
Yes.
Oh my god, he doesn't even know that I like him.
Yeah.
He needs to know that I like him. I have to tell him as soon as we wake up that I like him back.
Yep.
Because he's awesome. He's pretty. She probably knows that he's liked her.
Oh, probably.
Like, she's like, whatever. But he also like that Hiccup was never weird about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Astrid. She's so pretty and cool and strong. I'm so weird.
Yep. I love it.
And do you want to read the final?
Oh, I can read the final.
Yeah.
It's I fucking love it because it's so good. This is Burke. It snows 9 months of the year and hails the other 3. Any food that grows here is tough and tasteless. The people that grow here are even more so. The only upside are the pets. While other places have ponies or parrots, we have dragons.
It's very good. It's the exact same like poetry. It
yeah,
rhymes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and that's such a great, the whole thing is a strong arc where you're just like, I saw the events, this is totally believable, of course, and we see them flying around and the dragons helping build things. We see dragons like flying up and carrying like lumber and stuff, and how
absolutely, and how much easier that would be. Like, holy cow.
Yeah. It's very good, and the dragons are just such a completely integral part of this world the whole time. Like, even when they're still classified as pets, like, this world we understand is shaped by the existence of dragons.
Yes.
And it's still going to be shaped by the existence of dragons going
absolutely.
forward. Like, that's so well. Sometimes I think when you have like a dragon, it's like, but the world operates very much the same whether the dragon was here or not.
Yeah.
It's just, the dragon is a monster we have to deal with.
Yeah.
And in Burke, it's like the world operates because of
the dragons.
And that's so good.
It's so good. I love it so much.
Yeah. I have no notes. Perfect movie.
I do, like, again, like, I love this movie so much. It hit that little my dragon love right in my heart. It was so good. I just fucking love this movie so much.
It just, it makes me so happy. And it's just like one of those things where I'm like, I don't see how, like, also remake a thing when you have a new take on it, where you can say more with it. Like, what more can you say that was not already said so eloquently? Yeah,
like, I haven't watched any of like the How to Train Your Dragon like series. I haven't watched any of that, but I'm very tempted to, because I think it does build on the movies. So I need to go back. I do need to go watch those, but I've never done it.
I did watch a chunk of them, and I did not feel like they did.
They did? Okay.
At least not more than the movies themselves did.
Fair
they didn't
enough.
even feel, maybe other people who've like known more. I could ask my friend Owen what he thinks. I know he's way more into all of the lore than I am. But what I saw from the movie felt very like, this almost feels non-canon.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe a little bit, I think what it does is it fleshes out the secondary characters a lot more and gives them a little bit more. Like, you get episodes about them. Like, I know Fish Legs' his dragon. He's so worried that they're sick and they're going to die. No, they're just laid eggs and now they have babies. And he's happy. Or like Snotlout's dad is a dick, and he's got like, he's mean. He's like, well, if your dragon doesn't cut it, you just need to get a better dragon.
Yikes.
Snotlout's like, but this is my best friend.
Yeah.
And so like, it's got that stuff, but I feel like the movies do such an incredible job of like really truly fleshing out the world.
Yep. And what we like, I feel like we praise a lot. They show us, not tell us.
Yep.
They don't lore dump. They show us through increments throughout the films.
Even when we're talking about like, here's how dragons, here's what we know about dragons, but they don't really say like, it's because we've fought dragons for thousands. We just like get it. The 7 generations. Like, they don't say we've been here for X amount of years and dragons keep burning down our houses. It's like, it's been here for 7 generations and every building is new. You, the reader, or the audience, can draw that conclusion.
Yep, and we even see it happening. And then you go, see, and like there's a dragon that lights a house on fire, and you go, see, old village, lots and lots of new houses, kind of thing. So it's very good. Fucking love this movie.
So good. Thank you, listeners, for supporting us.
Yes, and for sticking around and
learning
out with dragons with us.
We have a list of the different dragon properties that like we thought of and we want to cover, but I absolutely think we could benefit from having more suggestions from other folks. So for June, we are going to be covering Dragons, a Fantasy Made Real, a
so excited about that.
Animal Planets.
God, yes.
That's going to be a hoot and a half. I'm real jazzed about that.
Yep.
But please feel free in the comments if you can think of any dragon media or stories featuring dragons, or even stories with an iconic dragon that isn't wholly about it. For example, I want to talk about Sleeping Beauty because I want to talk about Maleficent.
Yes, exactly.
But please, absolutely feel free to share some of your favorite dragon suggestions that you're specifically like, hey, I think y'all would have a good time talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, drop it in the comments. It's on Patreon. If you're not listening on, but I was like, I know the Patreon app kind of sucks. So if you're not listening on Patreon and you're listening on your preferred podcasting app, which I hope you are, and if you're not, shoot me an email or shoot us a message and we'll walk you through how to get that. You can also just like hit us up on Instagram or the email, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.